1957, a year of speed for the biggest and the fastest of all the race boats, the unlimited class hydroplanes. It was a year for broken records, closer competition, and near disasters. And King TV was there to record these happenings as they occurred. Here are the high points of the most intense year in racing history, Hydro HiLites of 1957. To introduce these films is the sports director of the King Broadcasting Company, Bill O'Mara.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to have you with us, friends. We hope that you enjoy our highlights of the year 1957. For yours truly, as I look back on the year of 1957, I concur. It was a tremendous competitive year for the unlimited hydroplanes, a sort of a make-or-break year. In the first place, I think of the memory that every race that the Seattle boat entered, it was a winner, and generally in record-breaking time. The crews were certainly more competent as judged by their record. They were better organized. They were giving drivers greater confidence in their respective boats. The boats themselves weren't breaking up quite as easily at low speeds and early in races either. The greater speed of the boats, of course, was posing problems for designers like Ted Jones because they just weren't built to take the pounding of that water at the speeds that they were traveling. Hawaii Kai, a great comeback by a boat that had an awful lot of bad luck early in the year. And of course there was talk all year long being advanced about the basic differences in the performance value of the Allison and the Rolls engines. And of course the happy look on Ted Jones' face as he took his brand new design boat, the cab-over design of Thriftway 2, out on the water, very rough water conditions at Lake Chelan, tested her out and found her certainly to his liking. A new theory in boats of that largeness, and certainly he came up with a great performance. Of course there were more men thrown out of boats too with the greater speeds they were traveling. The miraculous escape of both Schley and Muncie made headline news. The great ability of Jack Regis to overlook his own racing plans to stop to help out a fellow competitor on the Detroit River, and the same goes for Miroslavak in Miss Wahoo at the Governor's Cup when he helped our good friend Bill Muncie. Yes, truthfully, the year of 1957 was a year of great competition, of great skill indeed, and we can look forward to more of the same in the year of 1958. Suppose we go back now and take a look at the first race of the season, the Apple Cup at Lake Chelan, May 5.
Now, between the two, the people on the shore don't realize that Wahoo must make an extra lap. Maverick is out in front. Not by much, but she's out in front. Over the line. End of lap 9. 1 second difference between the two boats. Maverick in first, Wahoo in second. But Wahoo has an extra lap to go. And now Wahoo goes out after him. He'll have no way of knowing until he comes around and doesn't get the checkered flag that he must make an extra lap. Unless he realized there when he turned down inside the 1,000-foot mark at the gun. The rain is beginning to come down a little bit. It is Wahoo hot after. And it looks like Maverick will take all the marbles if he can last. Meanwhile, the Hawaii Kai is sitting dead off the top of the west turn. And fast work by the crane. Here's your lead boat going into the turn for the 10th and final time. And Wahoo coming after a real great. Wahoo will have to go an extra lap. And it could be tough to see in this dark weather. All right, here we go. A hot streak now down this line. They've got to come up with a checkered flag for the lead boat, but they've got to give that other flag, the green and white flag, to the second place boat. There's your winner, Maverick.
In that race at Chelan, it would seem that Maverick had shed that bad luck jinx that she'd inherited in the year of 1956. But by the same token of racing luck, her sister ship, Shanty One, driven by a very competent boy known as Rush Schley, she seemed to come in for her share of bad luck. Shanty One, driven by Colonel Rush Schley, had all...
So here comes Maverick. Ooh! Wahoo! Spun out. And she's dead. Now there are two boats left. Maverick in first place at the end of the second lap. As Jack Regis is calling for help, not for himself, but for Colonel Rush Schley. And meanwhile, the race comes on. And he's evidently signaling to him that he's hurt. There, right to the left of the boat. Colonel Rush Schley. As the boats go outside him, and we're very careful going around. Colonel Rush Schley getting closer with Wahoo in second place now. 1 lap plus 7 seconds behind. Colonel Rush Schley has reached his boat. He evidently was thrown out And he's back up on the boat. And everybody breathes now if I know him.
Now the middle of July for these unlimited hydroplanes, and their next stop finds these boats basking in the California sun at Lake Tahoe. And down there, they'd never seen such a large contingent of boats. Some 13 in all were on hand. And of course, at that altitude, numerous adjustments have to be made in this boat. In fact, in all the boats that are down there. And one of the boats that seemed to be well prepared was that of the Miss Wahoo. And along with...
And here comes Miss Slipway. Miss Slipway is in the middle, moving out. Miss Slipway, Hawaii Kai. And it's Miss Slipway across the line first. Followed by Wahoo. Followed by, over the sway over there. Miss Seattle. Hawaii Kai is way back. And Gale 6 and Gale 5. In that order, Bardol is in between the two Gale boats as they go into the south corner. Now, who's going to... Coming out of the north corner, we have the boat that is leading, and that boat that is leading is Miss Slipway. Miss Slipway out of the north corner, getting ready now. Here comes the Rooster Tail, kicking high. She is now a quarter of a mile away from the finish, coming down there real hard. Miss Slipway getting ready to hit the 1,000-foot mark. This is the third and final heat, as Miss Seattle's having tough time on the far side, and Wahoo goes past her and goes up the backstretch. Here comes the winner of the third heat, Miss Slipway. Over the line goes Bill Muncie in Miss Slipway. 10 laps. As they put a green and white flag out for Muncie. He should have had 10 laps in all in there. Now, evidently he jumped the gun. They gave him another. I don't care, he could jump the gun. They were all the way back. Well. So we'll see what develops here. We had no indication of a false start. Everybody was pretty well back.
Slipway and Miss Seattle jumped the gun.
Slipway and Miss Seattle jumped the gun. They have to go an extra lap. So Wahoo will be the winner. Here comes the winner, Miss Wahoo.
And the confusion caused by lack of proper help has been remedied with the rules stating that there must be X number of people on hand at all times for the races. Well, speaking of the races, after Lake Tahoe, all the hydros headed for Lake Washington. You know what happened up here, Seattle's Gold Cup race on August 11th. 21 entries in all. That was a record number. But, of course, by race day, only 14 were eligible to answer the starting gun. This was the 50th running. This was the Golden Gold Cup, and nothing was overlooked by the committee to make it, frankly, the biggest regatta ever run. By the rules of the Gold Cup, a necessary and very exciting portion of the Gold Cup scene is the running of qualifications, which take place the week prior to the actual running of the race. And on those qualifications and during that week...
Running the third and final time around the course in her qualifying effort, 116.13 miles an hour the first time around. Her second time around, 117.39 miles an hour. The record for three times around this course, 119 miles an hour, set by Joe Taggart. Slow motion 4. Halfway through the south corner now goes Bill Stead in Maverick as he moves off the fourth buoy now in the south corner, approaching the exit buoy and heading up the backstretch. Watch the Rooster Tail kick high now as Al Smith on our 60-inch lens gives you a picture of her. She comes up the backstretch with the sun glinting on the Rooster Tail. Now he has her under full bore. Bill Stead running not quite so hard this third time around the course, but they really have the boat in shape halfway through the backstretch. This boat was originally built to crack the straightaway mile record. She runs real well. And now they've made some changes in her, and she runs real well in the corners. Watch Stead as he approaches the deceleration point of his third time around the course. Past that deceleration point and in on that first buoy, and brother, he doesn't bend off too much. He's driving extremely wide, but brother, he has that full bore on all the time. She detonated and popped on him just a little bit coming around this buoy the first time, but he has the thing pretty well under control. His buoy turn off the fifth and final buoy. Now here's the run for home on his third and final time around. Maverick getting the checkered flag with Bill Stead at the wheel. 500 feet. Over the line.
In that qualification effort for the Allison engine with Bill Stead at the wheel of Maverick. More excitement took place on Friday, however, when...
Way 2, Hawaii Kai, Miss Bardol, and Miss US 1. They are still working on US 4, and Miss Sunny is still to be heard from. Whiskey is still to be heard from, and so is Such Crest 3. There's a fire evidently started on Breathless 1. Whether it's a stack fire or not, let's see if Roger can handle it. Roger's in the water. Roger goes into the water and is evidently over on the side. You can just barely see him over on the far side. The Coast Guard boat is coming to him, and the helicopter is hovering overhead, and they may be going down. They're going down and rescue him. It's a funny thing, but the Coast Guard put on a demonstration out here right in front of the official buoy just about an hour ago, picking up a man from the water. Here you see.
Race day, real excitement, and everybody's on hand, either watching at home or at shoreside.
The first thing that Neptune does when he hits port
in the world as far as sporting events are concerned. Wish you all could be here. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you very much.
With me to my left is the grandfather of all three-point hydroplanes, the man who designed them and makes them go. But just now, for a minute, let's go down to Dick Ross and talk to Jack Rager's $1 million worth of boats, engine, and equipment are the fastest hydroplanes ever to perform on the water anywhere.
Again, this field consisting of Thriftway, the defending champion, Shanty, Gale 5, Breathless, Maverick, Short Circuit, and Hawaii Kai. 6 of those 7 boats have completed a total of 60 miles. They are in contention for the gold cut. And we are certainly definitely coming around now to a point where we have everybody shaping up. 2 of the boats are cutting across the infield, coming down here real tight on the inside corner. The defending champion, Miss Thriftway, is in the middle. Hawaii Kai is right next. And we have the Maverick on the inside corner. And they are pretty well braced away as Maverick is on the inside and going very nicely. They're over the line. Here comes Miss Thriftway on the outside corner. She was flipped across the field, taking no chances at all. We will have to wait to see if there was anybody jumping the gun on that start. We'll wait for the official word. We're now moving into the south corner on the first of 10 times around the course. So we have Thriftway moving into second place. Maverick is first. The Gale 5 is running way wide over by the buoy line, 3/4 of the way up the backstretch. And here comes Maverick out of the corner. She's out in first place now with the Hawaii Kai dead in the north corner. So Maverick is your leader, coming down to the wire now, getting ready to start her 10th and final lap after running in second place for 8 solid laps. Starting the 10th lap is the Maverick, running in first place. But she's way behind on total elapsed time. Let's see how close she comes as Muncie, the defending champion, moves up into second place with the malfunction of the Gale 5. The Short Circuit has just passed us. She's still in 6th place, and the Breathless is in 7th as the Miss Thriftway comes down now. And the Miss Thriftway is moving real easily, trying to pick up a repeat win on her championship of last year. The Shanty comes across the line, and she is now in 3rd place. Thriftway is 2nd, Shanty is 3rd. Gale 5 is still crawling around on the outside, but it looks like she's going to go over to the pits. Gale 5 has dropped out of it. So 1 out of the 7 has quit. In fact, 2 out of the 7 have quit as Hawaii Kai is dead in the north corner. Moving up the backstretch is the Maverick. The Maverick moves to the 3/4 point of the backstretch. She is in 1st place, and in 2nd place is Miss Thriftway. And Miss Thriftway is in her 10th and final lap, and so is your leader, Maverick. As the rest of the field stretches out, and we have a lapping occurring on the 7th place boat, Breathless, with Miss Thriftway moving to the outside, 3/4, about a halfway up the backstretch, as the Gale 5, with Roy Derby at the wheel, keeps limping around out here, and the Gale 5 has now slipped to 4th place. The Breathless is still running, what would make her 6th place now, in the Short Circuit in 5th, as we have Hawaii Kai out of there, and the Gale 5 is still moving a little bit. So 1 out of the 7 is out there, and Miss Thriftway goes by Breathless and laps her just at the approach to the north corner. And the Maverick is having trouble. She's swinging fairly wide, but I don't think that she'll come down. Now there she is. She's picking up real hard. Here she is coming down, ready to get the checkered lap. And the Miss Thriftway is running in 2nd place. Maverick over the line. Winner of heat number 3, Bill Stett. And we hear some of those Texas guns, the Bill Wagner's group down here, whooping and hollering it up. Here comes your 2nd place boat, the defending champion, taking 2nd place in this 3rd heat. Miss Thriftway getting 2nd place.
Old driver Bill Muncie and the defending Gold Cup champion Miss Thriftway played a nice, cautious, tight, safe race. Saved his boat, came in a safe 2nd behind Maverick. Set a new course record for 90 miles on a 3-mile course here at Lake Washington, averaging out at 101.97 miles an hour. And if you don't think this boy isn't happy, Take a look at Bill Muncie and his crew, Miss Thriftway, as he gets into dockside, and they have a real
Plane racing. We have seen certainly a lot faster time, and you mentioned something very pertinent, I think, the fact that more boats are surviving. They're really ready to go.
That's right. I think the field today is better than it's ever been. We have some wonderful equipment here, and this race was a beautiful spectacle. Anyone that was privileged to see it was very fortunate.
I think so, too. Gentlemen, we were privileged to have you here with us. It looks like they're gathering in all the boats off the course. I think it'll be time for us to take a look at the Heat 3 recap then, and then try to get the total points for you. Thank you both, gentlemen, for being part of our Coast to Coast show.
Thank you.
Lou Fagel and Joe Taggart. It's been a real pleasure to talk with both of you. Now let's go to Tom Dargan.
And a happy, historical moment as Bill Muncie hugs his wife, Kit. Let's just listen to this. Your mom up here. She wants to. Here she is. Hi, Mom. Get her down here. Get her down here. Come on, Bill. As Bill Muncie jumps down. Oh, there they go. Jack Ramsey. What? The whole piling in. I'm sure you can understand that this is one of the
fabulous winning streak of a boat that was to become, believe it or not, 1957 national champion. More of that later. For Jack Regis, the driver, for Hawaii Kai, and for the crew, the former Slow Motion 4 crew, this was a make-or-break race, this Silver Cup race. And of course, it carried the added impact. The Detroit people were shocked after their bad licking in the Gold Cup. They were determined to come back, too, on the unlimited hydroplane scene. It all added up to an exciting race. It turned out to be a tremendously exciting affair, and it turned out to be a first for Hawaii Kai, the first of...
Miss US won real hard. Whoa, baby. She's really taken off out there for him. Moving into the east turn now, past buoy number 2. Hawaii Kai. They both lapped Maverick, and he fell out of the boat. Your driver fell out of the boat, and the boat is running free. And here comes Gale, Hawaii Kai, wide, trying to swing wide, way wide. Up goes the flare. They'll stop the race right here. Boat is coasting over to the slip. Now everybody comes down. All right. Everybody stops. This is the rule of the course. You've got the man on the screen. There he is. Your driver, Miss US 1, she broadsided in out of the east turn, coming in there too fast, thrown out of the boat. And the boat, meanwhile, is drifted over by the slip over next to the lee Schenenbach. Everybody's coming down now, dead in the water. Into the water goes Jack Regis. Regis comes out of his boat and goes in and helps the driver of Miss US 1. Here comes the move out of the north corner for your lead boat, Hawaii Kai, as she's coming around on her 8th time around the course. Hawaii Kai, who had a first-place finish and had the fastest heat time, 16 minutes, 23 and 4/10 seconds, is now coming down to the line, 500 feet away, at the end of her 8th lap, running number 1. Maverick has gone by breathless in 7th place, and the 3rd place...
Next stop along the hydro scene came at Washington, D.C. in the President's Cup. And after a day of running, we found that Shanty won, Miss Thriftway, and Hawaii Kai each won 2 of their elimination heats. But Sunday morning, in a test run, Shanty 1 was totally demolished, and driver Rush Slade badly bruised when the boat hit a wake at high speed. So this set the stage for a duel between Thriftway and Hawaii Kai, but Thriftway tore the bottom off her port sponson in the first lap and was forced to coast around the course. Hawaii Kai breezing around, giving her 2nd straight win. Later on that afternoon, Hawaii Kai racked up her 3rd win by downing all comers in the Rogers Memorial Trophy race, the American Speedboat Championship. The following week found our unlimited hydroplane friends churning up the waters of the Ohio River looking for extra points for the national championship. They'll be going for the Governor's Cup at Madison, Indiana. And in the first heat, Miss Thriftway set a new world record for a 15-mile heat. It amounted to 112.312 miles an hour. Her second elimination heat, 2A, was to be her last that she would ever run in her career. She was leading at the end of the first lap. in slow motion. Watch carefully. Bill goes out of the boat to the left, and the seat goes out with him. With the demise of Miss Thriftway on the Ohio River at Madison, Indiana for the Governor's Cup, Hawaii Kai, Jack Regis and crew picked up their 4th win in a row and guaranteed a national championship for themselves. And so we came to the final week of the 1957 Unlimited Hydroplane campaign, and we found that October 12th and 13th found this to be the closest contest of all as far as any one particular race was concerned. Darkness coming early and fast at Lake Mead, Nevada, and by late Sunday afternoon, everyone realized that the third and final heat of the Sahara Cup was going to be run not in twilight, but virtually in total darkness. Watch this tremendously exciting duel between Hawaii Kai and Thrift.
On real hard. That starts to come up on Thriftway 2. She's going to make a move right now. She's coming to the outside, and it looks like she's going to make it. Not quite. Now they're dead even as they come out of the exit buoy. And it's a 2-boat race as they come up the backstretch in the total darkness out here. It is Hawaii Kai on the outside. It is Thriftway 2. That's dead even halfway up the backstretch. Halfway up the backstretch. Thriftway 2 moves away now from Hawaii Kai. Comes on real hard. And Hawaii Kai has to get round as Thriftway 2 comes on real hard. And he's falling back now. Thriftway 2 is out in front, leading by about 1 buoy marker as they approach the north turn. Hawaii Kai coming on real hard now. Trying to pass him on the outside corner. Coming down to the 4th buoy now. Getting ready for her 5th and final run. As she drops down a little bit, and still the ever-dangerous Hawaii Kai comes on. Less than a second behind as they come off the buoy. Now getting ready for the 5th and final buoy. Jack Regis goes to the outside corner, trying to get by him. Here comes Thriftway 2. 1,000 foot mark, 500 feet away, and Jack Regis comes out to make his move. Less than a half second between the two boats. Regis goes on now. He's dead even with him. Going down the backstretch, approaching the south corner. It is Thriftway 2 on the inside corner. It is Hawaii Kai on the outside corner. As they go into the south corner, Regis came to the outside corner to make his move, to try to get around Thriftway 2, but he has to drive real hard to go the long way around. Thriftway 2 staying on the inside corner now, not giving ground. Hawaii Kai goes to the outside corner, falling just a little bit behind. There's less than a second behind them between the two boats. It is Thriftway 2 on the inside corner. It is Hawaii Kai on the outside. They'll be lapping on the outside. And it looks like Hawaii Kai on the outside corner, coming up now, trying real hard to take over. A lapping by both boats on Fascination as they come out of the south corner on the 5th and final time around the course. Hawaii Kai on the outside corner. And it is Thriftway 2 on the inside corner. Fascination being lapped. All right, here comes Thriftway 2 on the inside corner. Thriftway 2 and Hawaii Kai. Thriftway 2 coming on real hard now. As it's virtually dark out here. Miss U.S. is coming out of the north corner now, finishing her 4th lap. Thriftway 2 is out in front now, pulling away from Hawaii Kai, who was just now lapping Fascination. It is Thriftway 2 approaching the north turn in the 5th and final time around the course, and Regis giving us a real big brave ride. Comes on real hard now. Comes up on him real hard. Thriftway 2 out in front now, leading by about a second and a half as they come in on the turn for the 5th and final time. Less than a second difference between the two boats. It is Hawaii Kai now trying to move to the inside corner. And it is, here comes Thriftway 2 coming over now, coming down, less than a second behind. And Thriftway 2 and Hawaii Kai, less than a second difference. It is Thriftway 2, the winner, followed by Hawaii Kai.
For the Hawaii Kai, the Sahara Cup win marked her 5th straight along the unlimited hydroplane circuit for the year 1957. It marked her as truly an exceptional and outstanding boat. The Hawaii Kai crew, as a matter of record, is crewed by men who have been formerly associated with the Slow Motion 4 and the 5, headed up by Mike Welch. And as far as her driver is concerned, a young man from Livermore, California, sent up by Edgar Kaiser, her original owner. And Jack Regis certainly is to be given all accolades for a deserving and truly remarkable season of 5 straight wins in a national championship. And for the boat itself, truly a remarkable record of good workmanship in a boat that was designed by the world-famous designer Ted Jones. Hawaii Kai stood up where others failed, where Miss Thriftway fell apart. All the way through the track. And now we'll get the indication of Jim Surratt on the loudspeaker system that he has over the official table. That was his north to south run. See whether or not they declare a balk.
192. 192, 593, 192, 593, and that is on the north to south run, which is his harder of the two runs. On those runs, we've never had as good time.
Unlimited hydroplane racing in this area is truthfully the major league sport. It's a sport that has captured the imaginations of literally hundreds of thousands of people through its speed, the balance and design of the boats, the very competitive urgency of the drivers themselves, and of course the ideal setting that we have at Lake Washington and other places along the unlimited hydroplane circuit, particularly here on the West Coast. It's something that we can foresee as going into the future at even faster, better, and quicker speeds. It's something that we at the King Broadcasting Company hope to be associated with for a good many years. Truthfully, the year of 1957 has been for us a year of memorable things to remember about the boats and the drivers, the crews, and the owners. And for the year of 1958, may we tell you right now that the King Broadcasting Company will be on hand for all the races that make up the major unlimited hydroplane scene for the year of 1958.